All right, so in this video, I want to go over some of the more interesting problems from quiz number 6. In particular, I want to go over these three sets of three problems where we analyze the graph of a polynomial function. Problems 9 through 11 are all about this polynomial f of x equals 7 times x minus 3 times x plus 5 squared. I think we can see that the zeros are going to be 3 and 5, 3 with multiplicity 1, and negative 5 with multiplicity 2. And because the multiplicity is odd, means it crosses. When the multiplicity is even, it means it touches the x-axis. And because the leading term is going to be the 7x cubed if we were to multiply everything out, and we can see that this is a positive coefficient and an odd degree, so that means it's going to shoot up on the right and down on the left. You can see if you plug in a large positive value in for x, this is positive. With large negative value in for x, this is negative. 12 on problems 12 through 14, the idea here is that this 4 minus x can be rewritten as x minus 4. So the x minus 4 is there. You just have to factor out this minus 1. And so this g of x is negative 1 times x minus 4 times x plus 3 times x minus 17. Okay, so 4 is a 0. It's not negative 4. 4 is a 0 with multiplicity 1, because again, this occurs one time. And negative 3 and 17 are also zeros of multiplicity 1. One's odd, so they all cross at these zeros. And if you were to multiply everything out, you notice that here the leading term is going to be minus x. We have minus x times x times x, that's minus x cubed. This is the same thing as negative 1 times x cubed. So we can see that for, in this case, it's going to shoot down on the right, because for large values of x, this is negative. For negative values of x, this is positive. So that's why it shoots down on the right and up on the left. For the next set of problems, 15 through 17, you had to factor out an x squared and then factor some more. And so you got x squared times x plus 5, x plus 1. X is the same as x minus 0. So there's our x minus 0. So 0 is a 0 of multiplicity 2. Negative 5 has multiplicity 1. Negative 1 has multiplicity 1. And so it touches, crosses, crosses, and then it shoots up on the right and the left, because the leading term is x to the 4th. On the next problem was problem 18. The trick here was that this factor can never be 0. X squared plus 1 is never 0. If you try to set x squared plus 1 equals 0, okay, you don't get a real solution. And we're only working with real numbers here. So the only zeros we have are at 3 and at 4. Okay, 5 is never 0, and this factor is never 0. Number 19, finding the x and y intercepts. You just had to do the usual thing. To find the y-intercept, you plug in x equals 0, and you get negative 24. So this is your y-intercept. And then to find the x-intercept, you set this whole function equal to 0. The only way that can happen is you have to set each factor equal to 0. And if you set this factor, x minus 6 equal to 0, you get 6. Set x plus 1 squared equals 0. You don't have to multiply this out. Obviously, this means x plus 1 has to be 0, so x is negative 1. And if x minus 4 is 0, x has to be 4. So these are the x-intercepts. For number 20, you were trying to find a polynomial function whose graph touches at 8. And so that means that x minus 8 is going to be a factor. And because it's touching, the multiplicity is going to be even. And so, well, what about x minus 2, x minus 8 to the second? Would that work? Well, the problem is that this is going to, if you multiply this out, this would be x to an even number would be the leading term. And that means it would shoot up on both ends. But we want it to shoot down on both ends, so we need to change the sign of this. So we need a negative leading coefficient, okay, to make this negative, okay. And the only option that works is -2 times x minus 8 to the 4th power or the 2nd power. I don't know which one it was. Okay. All right, X number 21, this was just about, you were giving a polynomial where the intercepts are 1, 2, and -3, crossing everywhere. So you just write x minus 1 to x minus 2, x plus 3, and multiply this out very carefully. If you do that, you'll see the x squared terms cancel out. For 22, we have, you were trying to find A and B. The key here was that you were given one of the x-intercepts. You had an x-intercept at 3. That automatically means that x minus 3 is a factor. So that b there you see is 3. So now p of x is of the form a times these factors. To find out what this a is, you use the other condition that the 1, 7 was on the graph. So this means that p of 7 is equal to 1. Okay, p of 1 is a times 1 minus 2, 1 plus 6. 1 minus 3, multiply this out, you get 7 equals 14a, and so a is 1/2. All right, so now let's go and look at the quiz if we can.